skills. Are you ready to take the bold step to invest in yourself? CFA Society Nigeria is at your disposal, promoting the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria. As an affiliate of CFA Institute, CFA Society Nigeria seeks to promote the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria and to provide a vibrant community in which its members and other key players in the investment industry can interact and grow. When you have the CFA charter, you're globally recognized. Take advantage today by writing the CFA exam and joining us at CFA Society Nigeria. For more information, visit us at cfasocietyn.org. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
Hello everyone and welcome to Money Talks. It's a financial literacy program and is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria. Smart Uzechi is my name. You can call me Captain Smart. Last week we hosted the president of CFA Society Nigeria, Mrs. Ibukun Oyedeji, CFA, here alongside another guest. And while we're concluding the program last week, we told you that we're going to bring her back. I mean, it took a lot for us to bring her back. We want to announce to you that we'll have back in the studio here today the president of the CFA Society Nigeria, Ibukun Oyedeji, CFA, in the studio here with us. Good afternoon to you, madam, and thank you so much for joining us again today.
Good afternoon, Captain Smart.
Yeah,
I gave you my word.
And you're here.
And I turned.
Yeah.
Because my word is my bond.
Yes, we appreciate you for that. We know it's not easy to have you back to back 2 Monday afternoons. We're so sorry to disrupt your programs. Ibukun Oyedeji is also the Chief Financial Officer, CFO at the EcoBank Nigeria. And so you see the tight schedule right there. It's because of this international conference of the CFA Society. That's why she's here again today for the second time. We're having that conference, the 2023 Africa Investment Conference by the CFA Society. Ibukun is here to talk about that. So our phone lines are open, 0700-923-923-923. That's the number to call. You want to get more details about the conference, or you want to ask about CFA Society as an institute, you're welcome to do that on the program this evening. You can also send us messages on WhatsApp, 0817-313-6193. That's 0817-313-6193. Or you can join me on Instagram. There are people already joining us there at Captain Smart 007 if you want to get more information about what we're talking about here this evening. So, Ibukun, last week we spoke briefly about this conference that is coming up. That's the 2023 CFA Institute Africa Investment Conference. It's coming up at the Eco Hotel here in Lagos, 29th and 30th of November. Big conference, international speakers are coming. People are coming from all across Africa. You are the president of CFA Society Nigeria. Please give us more information about this particular big event. It's happening for the first time.
Yes, the CFA Institute Africa Investment Conference is happening for the first time in Africa. Prior to the CFA Society Nigeria had held 2 investment conferences in Lagos, Nigeria. But now for the first time, the CFA Institute, in collaboration with other CFA societies in Africa. So in Africa, we've got Nigeria, we've got Ghana, we've got South Africa, the East Africa, and Mauritius make up the CFA Society Africa, because really CFA targets markets where the financial markets thrive. So it's not country based, it's based on where the financial level of activity is high. So those are the 5 societies that we have. East Africa has Uganda, Kenya, if I remember, Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, all that, the five around them, so the rest, the block there, make up the East African conference. So it's the first time we're all coming together. And we happen to be very lucky to be the nation and the city of Lagos hosting this conference. And we have various financial professionals from across Africa coming for this conference. So it's not just financial professionals, it's also all stakeholders. So depending on what the event is and what your target is, but it's really for people that have an interest in the financial industry. So either as an employee, an employer, an investor into the Africa, and it's just to showcase Africa as a destination, the next destination, investment destination, and showcase the potential that the African continent has with regards. I remember last week I told you 1 out of every 8 person on the surface of the earth is an African.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, you can call us on the telephone 0700 923 923 923. Madam President, as I choose to call her, is here. So it's like the CFA Secretariat located here. There's another big man in the studio. Yeah. We don't want to mention his name.
I will mention his name. Yemi Ajago, who's the executive director of the CFA Society in Nigeria. So he runs the operations of a society in Nigeria.
So that's why I said
he's here with me. He'll be answering some of the questions if there's a need for that.
So CFA is here completely. The entire. I don't think CFA is working for these 30 minutes because everybody's here. So Ibukun, so what is CFA Institute? People are hearing CFA Society Nigeria, CFA International. So tell us about CFA Society Nigeria. What is it all about? Or the CFA Society itself? You mentioned a network of societies that make up the CFA. Can you just elaborate on that for us?
Okay, so CFA Institute is a global body. It's a not-for-profit that actually pushes the highest standard of ethical levels of standard or operation of investment professionals across the globe. So for CFA Institute, it's also it handles academics, training, education, accreditation. But fundamentally, underneath that is the fact that we're trying to ensure that every financial market and all the participants in those markets operate on an ethical level. And that ethical level really speaks to ensuring that you, the investor, is protected and you come first ahead of the interest of the company that is you're investing your money in, or even the people helping you invest your money, and also ahead of we, the employees, that actually have to do that act. So for us, investors come first, and the integrity of the market, ensuring that there's enough trust and integrity in that market ensures that our nation thrives, or any market in which CFA charter holders are meant to operate and thrive. So it's just ensuring there's accountability in terms of our membership, ensuring that when you're a member, you uphold to those ethical values, which is the same. A CFA charter holder in Nigeria is the same as a CFA charter holder in Germany, in Ghana, in the US, in Switzerland. And if I may just drop it there, right? Most times when you have a CFA behind your name anywhere in the globe, it tends to open doors for you in financial institution and you get recruited because once they know the quality of what you have, and that's why we're very few, but there's an impact you're making. And from our perspective is to see an environment that thrives for the investors that want to invest, the public generally, or potential investors that want to invest in their markets, in their local markets.
I heard you say charter holder. When you say that, what does it mean?
So charter holder is someone that's taken the exams, the 3 levels of exam.
There's an exam?
Very difficult, I must say.
Wow.
I say it because, actually, let me correct that. Not difficult. It takes a lot of commitment. So what the CFA teaches you is discipline. A lot of discipline and tenacity. You have to be able to burn the midnight candle. There are no shortcuts. You have to be dedicated and have passion for what you want to do. So it's not wuru to the answer. It is actually you having an interest and passion to actually thrive in your endeavor. And so that discipline translates into what you do in terms of study hours, how many times you have to make sure the quality of what you produce is. And at the end of the day, we ensure that you get the best results you can. That's what CFA charter holder exam is all about. Yeah.
So like you have a badge.
Yes, we do. In simple terms. But that's not what all CFA Institute is about.
Yeah. Because
whilst we understand that there's a dynamic, the exams of the charter holders, but also we have certification that actually are relevant to the current market trends. So we have ESG certification, which is really about, if you all know, I'm sure people have come here to talk to you about ESG. If you don't know, you need to come to the conference and learn a lot more about ESG and understand what the impact of climate change is having on the economy of Nigeria, the rains you're seeing and all of that, and how can we all correct that and ensure we are holding the people that are either investing, manufacturing, or assessing, or even the government accountable to protecting the earth for us. That's one of the exams. There's also climate financing. Very interesting. So depending on where your interest is.
Everything related to finance,
yes, right? But overall, what we're just trying to do is ensuring that we forge a future of the future of the financial industry as a whole, but making sure we remain a force for good for the global finance world.
That's very eye-opening, a lot of information right there. So this conference that is coming up on the 29th and 30th of November, who is it exactly for? And those who are coming there, the attendees, what are they looking forward to as takeaways from the conference?
As I said, it covers everyone. So you have like government officials coming in. We've got market players like either in the industry. We've got regulators coming in. We've got students coming in, young employers, the old experienced one. We have people in the fintech space coming in to the panel, the ESG I spoke about, also addressing. So the theme of the conference is really the emergence of Africa, a rethink or a re-strategizing. And it's really making us think. We've heard about emergence of Africa before. We're hearing it again. Is it really just this next phase about, another emergence? Are we rethinking is an emergence, or is it really about looking carefully and re-strategizing and positioning Africa really in line with what it is, the next potential of the world? Like I said, demographics is what drives demand and supply. And if you're saying 1 out of every 8 is an African, that tells you the massive potential. I don't even want to go into the mineral resources we have. And all of that has to do with finance, because finance is the conduit. Everything runs through finance, and that's what we'll be discussing at the panel.
Okay, 0700 923 923 923. Hello.
Yeah, Captain Sam, good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mrs. Ibukun. Yes, I want to ask 2 questions. One, Captain Sam has just asked that question, so I want to explain further, so that when you come to the conference, you don't look lost. He asked who can attend the conference, and I'm happy you said everyone can attend. So I'd like to find out what's the criteria for attending the conference. What do we need to have? Yeah, is there going to be a gate pass or anything that we are not stopped at the gate or anything? That's one. Then number 2, the CFA site. I was going through the website some few months ago, and I saw things like the exam you talked about. So, but I'm wondering who can those who are in the commerce sector, financial sector, the account, those who are in accounts, is this related to ICANN or anything, or just anybody who you are investing, or who actually can actually do the CFA? That's my question. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. I'll take the first one. The first one is about who can attend the conference. Like I said, it's people of interest in the finance space. But we're not capping it because, like I explained last week, we've got investment clubs in university. Those students will be attending, and the reason is we're building the future professionals in the industry. Very critical to us, because as a society, a lot of the work we do as CSR, developing people for the future. And so the students will be attending the conference as well. We've got middle level, we've got junior level finance people attending. We've got middle level and senior executives, and we've got investors as well attending. So, but the key thing in terms of registering, like I said, you must have an interest so that no one is lost. But there's a website where Yemi will be providing that you need to register. You need to register, and it's on the CFA Society website. There's a landing page there that will link you up to where you can, but Yemi can read out the website. Okay, He's the man for it.
So where you register is at AIC 2023 CFA Society Nigeria.org. Go there, register, and you'll be screened to attend the conference.
Absolutely.
The screening is because we want to make sure that the people that are attending are actually the people that have a passion and interest and is relevant to them in terms of career.
Right. 0700-923-923-923, the number that you can call, or send us a message on WhatsApp, 0817-313-6193. And this message here says, good evening, Smart and Madam Ibukun. Thank you for the explanations. What do we stand to benefit from the conference? Because we've been speaking about that. What's the benefit? I mean, what's the need for the attendees?
So the attendees, I think one of the key things we have to realize is awareness and enlightenment is extremely critical for all of us. Most of us, we go about our day-to-day without taking a step back to actually understand what are the new opportunities within the space. The first session, we have about 5 lineups on day one. The first session is about the macroeconomics of Africa. What's the future? What does it look like? What does Africa in the next potential on all of that on macroeconomics across the various African economies? What does it look like? And we're getting one of the renowned macroeconomists in the country to actually take that session. I have listened to him before. Super exciting and extremely intelligent man. Ayoteriba, Dr. Ayoteriba is taking that session. He understands Africa, and he doesn't even look at Africa from our perspective. He looks at it from the global. He looks at it from the G7. He looks at it from BRICS. I'm sure you've heard about BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And then the next 11, which Nigeria falls into. Nigeria, the potential of Nigeria and other African countries, and how can we harness it? Another panel talks about where do we find alpha. Alpha means where do you find returns above the market. So we're very selective about the topics. Then we talked about the ESG, which I've mentioned. That's another panel. And we're also looking at the panel to talk about what's the professional landscape for Africa in the finance industry over there. So you're going to get Mag, which is the CEO of CFA Institute. She's visiting Africa for the first time, taking that session with Jamil, it's for ACCA.
Director of Africa.
Yes, for ACCA. So we're making it collaborative. And we've got people that are in CIS on the panel as well. We actually opened it up. So it's not about CFA. It's actually about all of us within the finance space coming together to discuss how Africa can be better positioned for the future.
Wow. Now you talked about Mag Franklin, CFA, who is the president of CFA Institute, I'm sure globally now.
Yes.
The first time she's coming to Africa, and Nigeria is the first place she's visiting. Tell us the significance of that, of her presence. What does it hold for this conference?
So that Mag coming in, I call her Mag Franklin, is her name, CFA, is coming to Africa for the first time. And that just shows you the interest and the vision of CFA Institute for the continent of Africa. I use a simple example. Africa is a canvas. And we have to decide on how we want to paint that canvas. We either tell our narrative from the perspective of, oh, please come and give me arms and make us better, or we tell you we are positioned as a nation to be, or as a continent as a whole, to be attractive either for investors, or we invest within African countries across Africa. So Africa for Africa was understanding, first of all, the opportunities that exist, and us now taking advantage of those opportunities and positioning ourselves. So for CFA Institute, they see a lot of potential in Africa. They believe the next phase of growth and development is Africa, and they're coming based on the CSR and our support and our invitation, coming to support to help us with this conference. And apart from that, is also for us to now begin to open our eyes to really, really, really understand the opportunities that exist for us, and we'll take advantage of it.
We have another caller. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, Pastor Smart. Good evening. And Madam Ibukun, thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is John. I'm calling from Lekki.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, please, thank you for all the explanations and the fact that Mark is coming. I also want to ask, what are the government bodies coming? Do we have somebody in decision-making capacity coming? Because we're aware of opportunities in Africa, and yes, it's coming to also let us know opportunities. But we keep hearing of ease of doing business. But at the end of the day, we see that there are more like barriers to doing business. So is there someone, a delegation from decision-making body or somebody in the corridor of power that's coming to expatiate on opportunities and how we can leverage on it, even as this lady opens her eyes to the opportunities that exist?
So MAG is not opening our eyes to the opportunities. MAG is coming as the CEO of CFA Institute. We have to open our own eyes to the opportunities within our continent. And from our perspective, sometimes we think it's the government that is going to have to, but why don't we use the experts that do it on a day-to-day basis? So what we have are the experts, either the capital investors in the room, or you have the private equity firms, or these are the CEOs of all this, or the founders of these companies coming in, and they've done exceedingly well. And they're coming in to tell us this is where we see potential, and this is the way we believe we should address it, and this is what we think we can do to get us from point A to point C or D, or even leap from A to Z.
All right.
So it's not only government officials are coming, but I also want to encourage us to focus on ourselves and see how we can potentially position ourselves but within the private sector for growth.
Another message here says, "Good evening, Ma. I have taken time to listen to you. I am an investor and entrepreneur. I have been living abroad for the past 30 years and I came back to Nigeria to manage my businesses. My question is this: is there any way CFA can make an impact in my personal development and business networking growth? There are great opportunities in Nigeria and Africa. Africa is the last bus stop. My name is Mr. Francis."
Absolutely, Mr. Francis. CFA Institute is all about education.
And he adds here, "I need honest people, investors to work with."
CFA Institute is all about training. It's all about education, and central to the tenets of CFA Institute, as well as the member societies, is ethical conduct and professionalism. That is profound. So, in that sense, Mr. Francis can reach out to the society in Nigeria, and we will be able to redirect him as to how to engage with us better.
And if you allow me, just in line with what Yemi said, please, I'll be careful not to promise that we're going to solve your problem.
Absolutely.
We need to understand, because one of the things that we do, we don't promise what we can deliver. And so we need to understand, because the question is quite vague. There's a lot of conversation, but like Yemi said, if you call the CFA Society office or on our website, we'll be able to guide you to the right channel in which to engage. I can tell you that our members are bound by the code of ethics to remain very ethical and honest in terms of engaging investors or clients. But we'll also see, because it's quite vague, so I'm struggling to say yes, we'll solve the problem.
Okay.
So we're not promising.
I think he's satisfied. He's sending a handshake here. So that's it. So for the benefit of the listening audience, who is to ask those who are listening there, who may not be able to call in or send messages, who are intending to participate, how do they participate in the conference?
Okay, so that's what I actually mentioned earlier on. To participate in the conference, it is fundamental that you register. Go to CFA Society Nigeria website. There is a special landing page for the conference, dedicated to the conference, and it's aic2023.cfasociety.ng.org. Go onto that place and register your interest to attend the conference, and we shall get back to you.
And this conference is holding what time, where?
29, 30th, 2 days, 29, 30th of November 2023, starting 9 a.m. every day to end 5 p.m. And to buttress what the president mentioned, we have a special package for university students. We, as a society, are working with students across universities to establish investment clubs, and so we are trying to have the town meet with the gown, and trying to inculcate
the town meet with the gown,
inculcate in those children ethical standards, professionalism from the get-go. As the president said, we are all about developing future professionals. So we are dedicating a period for them on day 2 for career fair that will be happening, and they will be central to that career fair as well.
So there'll be employers and there'll be future employees, as in employees. So we're going to have a session where they can actually meet, interact, and there are lots of CEOs. If I probably have about 24 speakers across the 2 days. So it's really, really rich, even for self-development, for you to actually learn for your own growth and your and career development. So I look forward to the whole session, and I'm really I'm more than happy to welcome people on that day.
So this is me sitting here, and I want to ask this, because I know this question is beyond the minds of so many people, right? We've seen the package now, the lineup, 24 speakers, and these are not small speakers from across Africa.
Yeah.
Your international president is coming, a co-hotel, 2 days. I mean, this must cost a fortune.
Attendance is free, but you must register.
Wow. Attendance is free, but registration is required, and it's AIC 2023.cfasociety.org. So you head on there and ensure you register for the conference, because I mean, it's here already. And you say this is not for profit, right? Your society is not for profit, but this is huge.
So we work with sponsors,
okay,
and we have a few sponsors who are mostly financial institutions that really support the cause, and they're mostly the employers of people like me within the sector. And so a lot of the financial institutions, and I must say a very big thank you to them, because they've been extremely supportive over the years, because they understand the vision and they understand the passion in which the members want. And everyone wants a market that is safe, that is trustworthy, that there's integrity and professionalism in. So they're supporting us to create that platform so that anyone in the globe, any international investor, know they can meet Nigeria on the level in which they would operate in their global market. So thank you to all our financial sponsors. I don't want to mention them now because you told me, but yes, we have a lot of those sponsors. And the university students, we work with about 27 universities across the country. So much passion in those students, and I always look forward to engaging them. I see a bright future in Nigeria and Africa in their eyes, and every one of them, when I engage, actually give me hope on what would look like in a few years to come in Africa, especially Nigeria. Passion, that's all I use to define it.
Wow. Let's say thank you to the executives of the CFA Society Nigeria. Mr. Yemi Ajagun is the executive director of CFA Society. He runs the office here in Nigeria. And of course, the president of the CFA Society Nigeria, the woman at the helms, Ibukun Oyedeji, who is also the chief financial officer at Ecobank Nigeria. Inviting you all to the program 29th and 30th of November 2023 at Eco Hotel. That's 2 days program right there, free of charge, but you have to register to attend. And one more time, the website to do the registration is
AIC 2023.cfasociety.ng.